Hi guys. So I just wanted to come on here and we are going to talk about our lesson 2, which is time management. So if you're like me and you have been on the struggle bus with the coronavirus alone, then you can know how difficult it can be to manage your time in a way that you are doing income producing things and you're not just moving your wheels in a circle trying to do all the things at one time. So from our Boss University, this is our time management. So the number one thing that a lot of us say is that we don't have time for that. And so what Nicole says is that we should stop saying that we don't have time for that and change it to that's not a priority for me. And so one of the main things that you'll hear a lot of leaders talk about is setting your priority. What is your 3 top priorities that you're going to do today or tomorrow or the next day? And I'm going to break that down as to how to make that a part of your daily habits. Okay, so if you're a woman, and it doesn't matter if you're in Sensi, if you have a full-time job, it doesn't matter which business industry you're in. If you are a woman, then you're pretty much expected to lean in to everything, whether that is your business life or your personal life. We have to be on our A game for our business, but also be the best mom and the best cook and have all the things. And people assume that because you're doing really well in one area, that must mean that you're neglecting in another area. And so we're just constantly judged on what we're doing, how we're doing it, and if we are doing enough. And so we're going to start to use our time and we're going to treat it like it is actually money. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. And so one of the top things that we need to do is to realize that we have to stop neglecting ourselves. So when you go on an airplane, there's a reason why they say that you have to put your oxygen mask on first. And that's because if my oxygen mask isn't on, I can't help you, because if I can't help you, because that means that I'm going to be passing out and won't be able to help you. And so we have to make sure that we're putting our oxygen masks on first. And we're going to start not wasting our time. And so trying to do everything and be on your A game isn't helping anyone. It's not helping you. It's just making you go in a circle and it's going to make you effortlessly tired. Okay. And so we are expected to be 100% 24/7, 365 days of the year while building our career and running a happy home, and which is just flipping insane, and it's just not worth it at all, right? And so we're going to re-examine what we're doing to make sure that we're filling our cup. Everyone is calling me. Hold on. Okay, and so we're going to write down not just our goals for our business, but like, what are your fun goals? What do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do with your family? What country do you want to go see? Do you have that on a plan? I know that you want to be a superstar director, or you want to be a star consultant, or you want to be a star director, but what is that going to do for you? What is that going to allow you to do with your family? So what are your family goals? And tying that to what you want to do in your business. And then on top of that, what are your family goals? Now, if you don't have a family right now, because that's another thing that's on there, if you're in your 30s and you're going up on the clock, then obviously your fertility clock is going too. And so that's just another thing that you have to add to the list of stuff, right? And so because being happy and feeling immensely healthy will ultimately bring you more career success and productivity versus stretching yourself too thin or responding to emails at all hours of the night and never taking time to chill and relax, or as our youth group says, chillax, right? And so we're going to give ourselves that time to really just like relax, unwind, and do what's going to actually make us happy. Why are you working so hard? What do you want to actually do? Right? And so let's talk about how to manage our time like a boss. Did you know that 1 hour extra of a workday actually equates to $500 or more for the average business person? 1 hour equals $500. That blows my mind, especially right now during the coronavirus, because we got all the time that we need right now, right? Kind of. So we need to start budgeting our time like we budget our money and thinking of it the exact same way. And I bet that if you did that, you would not be spending your time on just randomness, right? If you treated it like you treat your checkbook, then you'll be more cautious with where you spend your time and where you're putting it, which is the importance of making sure that you're writing down those top priorities for yourself. And one of the main things that you'll hear any person who is successful, what they mainly say is, this is my routine, this is I follow it. Now, it's not saying that you're always going to be able to follow your routine. That's just not life. But if you have a routine in place, then it makes it so much easier to run your business and know what you're supposed to be doing today. Okay. But on top of that, we also need to be filling our cup. Okay, so we have a routine and what we're doing, but we also have to have a routine for what we're going to be doing that's going to be filling our cup, that's going to be making us better people. All right, and so for some people that means working out, gratitude journals, doing yoga, and I'm going to go over what I'm going to be doing, and then you guys can be doing that as well. You have those exercise sheets on our team page, and I can also put them on my YouTube in the comments as well. So making sure that when we wake up in the morning and we are just busting out what is going to actually make us happy. So if exercising makes you happy, if yoga makes you happy, if just spending an hour by yourself and just being in a moment with yourself is going to make you happy, then making sure that we're scheduling time to do just that. And that's going to make it so that other people are not dictating how you spend your day. Okay? So gratitude increases happiness, which is the importance of having a gratitude journal. I'm writing down things that you are happy about. What are you grateful for? My child is on the floor right now. I'm grateful that I can be home with her in this time. And she's got two others just like her. So think of what your morning routine and evening routine looks like. And then on a piece of paper, or if you have the one that I put on our team page, you can go ahead and, or at the end of this, or while I'm talking, just write down right now, what does your morning routine actually look like? So from start to finish, what are you actually doing? And we're going to go through and we're going to make it so that morning routine isn't just a routine, but is actually something that is going to be liquid gold for you. It's going to make it so that when you start your day, you are just so happy to take over the day because you've done things to, number one, start from a filled cup. You're not starting your day at 7 a.m. with 3 kids coming through the doors telling you that they're hungry and they're thirsty and all this craziness. And now you're like trying to cook dinner, looking like a crazy person, angry at everyone for no reason because you haven't had your coffee yet. Well, let's skip all that madness. Let's wake up before the crazy kids, have our cup of coffee already so that we greet them with the same excitement that we want to fill our cups with. Because I promise you, when I greet my child, Elizabeth, because she is literally like my twin, if I greet her like that, she has the exact same aura. And then her aura, I'm like, oh my gosh, you need to chill out. You need to get out of my space because she's like feeding off of what I'm feeding her. So it's actually my fault, right? And so when I stopped allowing her to dictate how I felt by making sure that I was feeding her positively, our mornings changed for school. But obviously our mornings are looking a little different right now. So during the coronavirus pandemic, what are your mornings looking like right now? Like unfiltered, just what are they looking like? If you want, you can post them in the comments or you can scratch them on a piece of paper, however you want to do that. Of course, you know me, so we're going to make them cuter eventually. But so we're going to manage our time like a boss. So we make time for what we want to make time for. It's time to start changing that phrase from I don't have time for that to that's not a priority for me. Time is more valuable than money. It's free, but it is priceless. Okay, and so the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to write down your 1, 3, 5, 7, and 10-year plans for your family, not your business. I don't want to hear about that right now. I want to hear about what do you want to do with your family? So for me, year 1 is I want to take my kids and husband to the Mall of America because when I was a child and I went there with my dad, it was just so cool and I absolutely loved it. And I would just love for them to experience that. Year 3, I want to plan a trip and stay in a yurt. I think that would be awesome to do with like no electronics, just completely family time. And I base this off of how old my son would be because he's my 3-year-old now. So in a year, he's only going to be 4. And so that's why I think Mall of America would be cool. They have like the amusement park in there and everything. Year 3, I want to plan a trip and stay at a yurt because by that point, my girls will be 8, 9, 10, 11. Will be 11 and 10. And so they're going to be like all up on their phones. And so I want to have like a no technology time. And my son will be like all about the camping. I'm hoping. Year 5 is take my family to Six Flags. When I was in elementary school, I actually lived in Chicago, Illinois. Shout out to all my Chicago people. And my family and I went to Six Flags all the time, and I absolutely positively loved it. We go to Disney World a lot, but I would just love for them to go to Six Flags because they had the giant roller coasters and stuff. Year 7 is travel up the East Coast because I am currently in North Carolina. So I want to travel from Florida all the way up to Maine, and I just want to do like a road trip just doing that. So not saying some big thing like from North Carolina to California. Like I just want to go up the East Coast, plan a entire trip around that and what that would look like, places to stop and see. And then year 10 is this has been on my list since like the beginning of since my first Mary Kate and Ashley movie, let's be real, when they went to Europe, and I was like, I need to go to Europe. I want to backpack through Europe. Well, I had my first daughter, Elizabeth, at 18. And so obviously I could not go backpack through Europe like that. But just because I had children doesn't mean that my travel plans stop. And a lot of you who know our journey, we travel all over the world with our kids. And so why not when they're at an age, because my son, who is 3, in 10 years, he'll be 13. So my girls will be 18 and 17. Oh my gosh. And so before they go to college, we can all go backpack through Europe together. That's like really, really big on my list. So I want to make sure that I make those things happen. And the next thing that you guys are going to do, it says exercise, and there are fun goals. And so these are kind of like fun goals, but this list is going to be smaller than that one. So fun things that you want to do with your family. I didn't necessarily do this one because I feel like my fun ones and my family ones go hand in hand. The family one is also geared towards like if you don't have a family yet and you're going to be building one, like so year 1, a newlywed maybe. But I just feel like those two things are kind of the same. But you can take that however you want to if you want to do some fun ones. So the next thing that we're going to do, because we've built what we want our future to look like, right? We've said these are the things that I want to do with my family. Or maybe you don't have a family yet. It could be things that you want to do with your best friend or things that you want to do with yourself, like learn another language. It doesn't have to look like how mine looked, but just like some fun things to look towards in the future, so that whatever my business goals are, they need to go corresponding with that. If I want to go backpack through Europe in 10 years with a family of 5, how much is that going to cost? How much do I need to be making? And make sure I'm working my business in a way that I can just go ahead and do that. So exercise 3 is our routine. So a lot of you know that the whole daily habits thing, right? And so daily habits are based on what our routine looks like. And so the first thing is, while it's unrealistic to stick a precise schedule every day, it's important to create some routines to follow that help set us up for success. Think through the ways you start and end your day and see what can be streamlined into morning and evening routines that you stick to as much as possible. So step 1, it said, what things do you have to get done in the morning before work, and about how much time does each task take? I kind of flipped the script as I was doing this. So at first I did it as like, because I also work for our church in their admin office, doing their marketing stuff. So I have to get my kids ready, myself, feed and let my dog out, grab her belongings, drop my kids off at school. And that takes me from about 7 a.m. until 8:30 a.m. About an hour and a half to do all of that. But right now, what my morning routine looks like is we wake up. The kids are coming in our room again. I had gotten that down where that wasn't happening anymore, like where I was up before them. But, if you are a creature of habit, all of your habits probably got just thrown out the window. So now it's time to rehabit ourselves. I don't know if that's a real sense of shock, but it is now. So I wake up like at 9 o'clock, which is awful. Oh my gosh. And then we go downstairs and we find some type of breakfast. And then I tell them to go get ready while I'm still in my sweatpants and a sweatshirt. And at some point they sit in my office and take over it and they do their homework. We're on like a get 10 assignments done kind of thing right now. And then after that, they have been doing Roblox. what they've been doing. And then, but we've been spending so much time outside and like doing fun activities like that. But we really have got to get way more of a habit going so that it's not, I do not like to constantly repeat myself. I do not have to tell you to brush your teeth every morning. You should know to brush your teeth. So I'm trying to get them into being more independent in that nature. And so them knowing what they're supposed to be doing and having their own type of schedule and routine and habits in place will keep us all more insane, because while they're doing homework, I'm going to be doing my Cincy work. See, that goes hand in hand there. So step 2 is what things would help to build into your mornings to set a productive tone for the day. This could be things like exercising, journaling, setting intentions, listening to a podcast. Okay. So pre-epidemic, I was laying out everything that the kids were going to be wearing in the morning, from their socks to their jackets, because it was cold before this whole thing happened. Okay. All their backpacks, everything was set up by the door. And that killed all the chaos of the mornings of me saying, put your shoes on, put your socks on, brush your teeth, brush your hair. Why don't you not have on underwear right now? You know, it kind of ixnayed all that chaos that was happening that was really just ruining my attitude. And so that really helped us all to stay on task and know what we're gonna be doing. And so I could be getting ready without stressing what they were doing. And my husband actually gets my son ready in the mornings, because on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, I go up to the church office, like I said, but my husband works from home. And of course I work from home on every day with Cincy as well. So, but since I'm getting out the door and my husband or my son has to be dropped off at preschool, so he gets him ready for me, and the girls know what they need to be doing and we make sure all their stuff is done. And so I can actually look kind of cute during the day, right? So we do that, and then waking up before everyone and sitting with my thoughts. So that's really important for me, to have a cup of coffee and to have not even necessarily an hour, but at least like 30, 45 minutes where I can just like sit and be still, drink my coffee, go, oh my gosh, it's so pretty outside. Oh, wow, I like the color scheme. Oh, look how nice this looks. You know, I just need that time with myself to just like rainbows and butterflies, as my husband calls it. Like, I need that time. And if I don't have that time, then I'm like, ah, and everyone's like, what's wrong with you? Right? Well, know yourself. What's important to you? What's going to make you be the best you that you can be? And then making sure that you're feeding into that. Okay. So if you need alone time, if you need to do work out, if you need to do yoga, if you need to journal, if you need to read your Bible, then make sure you're scheduling that time to do that in the same way that you're scheduling what time you need to leave for work in the morning, or that you need to leave to take your kids to school, or that you need to leave to go to your doctor's appointment. You plan on the drive there, but you don't plan the pre-drive there in a way that isn't just you moving and bustling and getting crap done. Like, the crap's still going to be there when you're done, I promise. So what can you do to make sure that one, it's all done, that you're still a better version of yourself than you were yesterday? Okay. And so for me, that's waking up for everyone and just sitting with myself and my thoughts. I listen to podcasts in the shower or some type of training while I'm in the shower. And then what I want to start doing is writing down top priorities for the next day. And so that's going to piggyback into our next step 3, which is step 3 says, what things could you do at night to streamline your morning? Example, laying out your outfit for work and your gym clothes, pack your lunch and or the kids' lunch, set out your vitamins, put your briefcase and keys by the front door. Having all those little tiny miscellaneous annoying things done the night before, where the only thing that you're on schedule for is what time are you going to bed, girl? So when you don't really have to be anywhere, so why not go ahead and take care of all that craziness that's going to be in the next morning? So right now we're in a craziness of pandemic, and it's not getting out the door to go take the kids to school. It's waking up and not feeling sad and tired, because being locked up in the house all this time, it's like tricking our bodies into thinking that we're depressed or something, and we're not. But our body's like, oh, so we're gonna nap and chill. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna nap and chill, but I have napped and chilled too much, guys. I caught up on enough sleep that I've been missing since Elizabeth was born 8 years ago. Okay. And so what I'm going to start doing, like now, tonight, is laying out everything that they need to do for school. And so I'm actually going to go into our garage and I'm going to make a homework area for them, or I might do in their room. I don't know, it just depends. That's what I was thinking this morning, but I don't know where I'm putting it. But I'm going to go ahead and have wherever they're going to be doing their schoolwork at is already going to be set up. They're already going to know what assignments they're supposed to be doing. We can go over it and sit with that tonight so they know tomorrow what they need to get done before they can say, can I be done? It's not going to be, can I be done? It's, I'm not done yet. Let me keep going. I'm going to go get me a snack and then I'm going to get back to work, you know? So laying out all those things, including our outfits, because we have to get dressed, because if I'm not getting dressed, then I just feel blah. And if I see them not dressed, I'm like, I still feel blah because I feel like a crappy mom, right? I'm like, oh, you should go brush your hair or something, right? And then having a priority list. So having my priority list for what I want to do in my business and the house, and also having their priority list, like I said, with their homework and their chores. Step 4 says, where can you build in time to decompress at the end of the day? And what does that look like for you? Examples: writing down 3 things that you're grateful for, making sure to avoid any screens at least an hour before your head hits the pillow, and things like meditating. So if you're like not sleeping at night at all and you're wondering why, and you, before you go to bed, you're looking on your phone or you are watching TV, shout out to my Netflix people. P.S. There's this show on Netflix. It's called The All American. Freaking mint. The show is the bomb.com. But I don't like football, like actual football, like watching football. Like that's not my thing. But if it's a football movie, I'm all in. Even like The Blind Side, like love that movie. Okay. And so it's called All American, and it's so good. It's so good. So we've been watching that every single night. But I've been sleeping like a baby because my problem isn't really the TV. It was my phone. If I'm looking at this, then there's something on here that is going to stress me out. And I've noticed myself is that I will actually stop looking at my phone altogether as a mental way of how I protect myself. Because if I'm always in all the negativityness, whether it's on social media or my own family drama or, you know, whatever, then I start to feel less, when I feel less, I can't work and I'm not motivated and I don't want to go do the things. Okay. And so making sure that you're setting time where you're not on your phone, you're not checking emails, you're not texting people back. Like these are my boundaries. This is the time. My husband and I have actually set a time for when we say we're going to bed and we get all the kids in bed and we're sitting in bed together, you know, whatever we want to do in that time is okay. And we're not going to be checking our phones. We're not going to be on Facebook. We're not going to be texting. We're not going to be doing any of those things. There's actually like a rule. Like we don't do that unless it's like an emergency that we see pop across our phone or something like that. Then that it's different. But if it's just like normal conversation with friends and stuff, like all that stuff gets cut off the minute we get into bed and start like hanging out with one another and spending that quality time together. Okay. So I wrote down, number 1 is I want to start doing nighttime yoga. So I'm actually in walking distance of the beach. And I realized today that if you are in walking distance of the beach, you can still go on the beach. It's if you have to drive to the beach, you can't get to the beach. And so I was like, oh my gosh, why have we not been going to the beach? Like, that's so dumb. And I've been wanting to do nighttime yoga on the beach for like ever, but there's like always all these people out there, but now nobody's out on the beach. So it's going to be like completely empty. So why not go do nighttime yoga with my children who also love yoga? They're actually better at it than me. I love the concept of yoga. I'm not really good at it. I just like the meditating and chilling part of it. Okay. And then I also love reading with my children. Like when I put them to bed and I read a book with them, like I feel like an accomplished parent. Everything else could have gone to crap the entire rest of the day. But if I had that moment where I could just read them a story, talk about the story, and be in La La Land together with them, I just feel better. And it's also really healthy for the brains anyway. And then making sure that I'm reading my Bible at night before I go to bed. I love when I read my Bible. I've gotten out of the habit of doing that where I'm just like reading it like a book. And it's crazy just the amount of questions that it helps me so that when I'm praying and when I'm spending that quality time with God, like I have a topic that I want to discuss other than just my first world problems, you know? But ways that I can actually make an impact on my community, ways that I can actually aspire a 16-year-old not to cut their wrist and to pick up their cross and go, you know? So I want to make sure that I'm spending that time with God because that's very, very important to me as well. And then step 5, this is based off of what you've written above, draft your morning and evening routines below and then edit as needed. Okay, so this is what you want your mornings to look like now. So you've written down what they look like. You talk about all the things that are going to make you a better person. So now if we sit down and we schedule out what that actually looks like, what is it going to look like? So the morning is wake up at 6:30 a.m. I'm doing this pandemic version. Okay, so wake up at 6:30 a.m. Listen to a podcast /training, either in the shower or not, who knows. 3 is have my kids breakfast ready before they come, before they've woken up, like have what they're gonna eat ready and presented. Getting the kids ready after they eat, so no more laying around in our sweatpants like vacation's over. Let's get a routine going so that when this is all over, we're not just a bunch of, I don't know, chores. Everyone's going to do their chores. So what do you need to do for the house? What do you need to do for the house? What do you need to do for the house? Okay, everybody break, go do what you need to do. And then coming back together and getting our homework / work done. That's the morning. And then the evening is dinner at 6, clean up, assign duties. So everyone go around the house. So I'm not just cleaning all day long. No, we have a set time where we're going to clean as a unit at this time. So it's not just mom having to do everything and leading into running the perfect household and a business. No, we all are living here. We are all breathing. If you are over the age of 4, let's get to work. Then we're going to do beach yoga. So after everyone's cleaned up, it will be like a treat to everyone. We'll walk over to the beach, do some beach yoga. We can spend that time praying and discussing, like having conversations like where we're at in our headspaces and stuff of that nature. Showers, brush your teeth, do whatever you got to do for nighttime routine. Reading with them by 8 p.m. And then the kids in their beds and asleep by 8:30. And then set out, before I go to bed, I need to make sure that I have set out the schoolwork, my top priority list, plan what we're going to eat the next day, and pray and journal. So journaling is like a gratitude journal or just getting your feelings out. Sometimes you just got to write it all out. Okay, so these are ways that we are going to manage our time. By the end of this, you should have what your day-to-day is going to look like, how you're going to be the best version that you can be. And I'm just so stoked to dive deeper into the stuff. Our next one is going to be branding. So how to brand yourself like a boss. That one's like one of my favorite ones because I just love marketing stuff. So I can't wait to discuss what your personal brands are so you can like dill deeper in you and see what you can just run with. Anyone that you know, celebrity, successful person, they have something that makes them different. So whatever is different about you, we're going to really hone in on that. Okay. So that you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe out there, and I will see you later.